Welcome to Amazing Authorities with Mitch Carson. Head to mitchcarson.com to learn more about what Mitch can do for you. Mitch brings you the leaders in their field. Today's difference makers. It's Amazing Authorities with Mitch Carson.
There's a word that is bandied around called entrepreneur. It's a French word, and it means freedom. And our guest today is Sharon Jurd. She's the consummate professional and an entrepreneur who's had multiple businesses, and now she gets to help people just like you. Sharon, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Mitch. I'm excited to be here.
So tell us about your first business. We had the pleasure of a dinner on the beach in Pattaya, Thailand, a few months back, where I heard about your journey, but I want you to share this because I believe it was almost ingrained in you from a young age. When you were a young girl, you started making money, when I recall.
Yeah, I did. I was always looking for ways, not necessarily to earn money, because I wasn't driven by the money, because my parents didn't have a lot of money. So I really didn't understand the value. I didn't think that I would have a lot of money. But and this is at an unconscious level, because when you're young, you don't really think about it. But looking back, it was like, how can I help people? Or how can I give to people? How can I, they've got a problem and I can solve it. That wasn't my thinking when I was young, but that's actually what I was doing. And now I'm consciously aware of it in adulthood.
Isn't that the formula for an entrepreneur anyway? Finding a problem, solving it, the problem solution for an inventor, for finding the hole in the marketplace and filling it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I, like I said, I didn't understand it at the time, but as you begin to mature and learn, that's what I do now. People say to me, what are you going to be doing in 5 years' time? I do not know, but what I do know is I'll be helping people get from A to B, pain to pleasure, whatever that will be. Yeah.
And today, well, you're in the process of going through of selling a franchise that you're the franchisor and you're in multiple countries with this. How did you get into what you're doing?
Yeah. So the company's HydroClean, and we clean split system air conditioners. So we're the only ones in the world with the machine and the like to do this worldwide. So we're in 47 countries, and we fell into it because I'm a business builder. So I'm not I don't come from the air conditioning industry. I don't know anything about, the remote. I always have trouble whether it's on cool or heat. That's not what I specialize in. I specialize in growing businesses. So I saw, as you said, an area in the world where people didn't know how to clean air conditioners, and people were searching for that availability. So, we grew it as a franchise here in Australia, and then we license it all around the world. And, so it's really exciting that our brand grew very quickly because people were looking for us. We didn't actually have to go out and find people. They were looking because there was this great gap in the air conditioning industry. So
I've got my unit right here, which I turn on and off right here. I know this blue button, that means on and off.
Oh, I can't help you much more than that, Mitch.
Well, but I love how often. So did you find you can't clean air conditioners without your system, or is it unique to a particular type? So is it what do you clean with that machine?
So a lot of people will clean the filters. So they'll pull the filters out and wash it in the sink, which you should do. But it's the coil and the blower fan behind that harbors the mold, which can make you very, very unwell. You can't see it. And so we have the devices to get up in the back of that. Some people will come in and just wipe over the thing that we call coil. It's a silver thing, but it's quite thick. And if you just wipe over the front, the mold is still in that thickness. So we have the tools to push that mold and dirt out. We have the cleaning agent to mold remediate and get rid of that for you.
So because I'm anal about this. We talked about I like clean. And how often should you do this with your unit?
Every year at least, but in Thailand or somewhere like that, it could be every 6 months.
Yeah, and then that's important because then you breathe better, don't you?
Oh, yeah. So a lot of people will wake up in the morning if they've had their air conditioner on overnight, where their nose, they just feel cloggy, and snuffly. And that is breathing in the toxins from your air conditioner. That's not people go, "Oh, I've got allergies." That's actually the toxins in your body.
I'm calling the guy today
Yes.
because I woke up this morning. I occasionally get nosebleeds, and
Oh,
yes, it is here.
classic symptom.
So I mean, when they come in, they may not have that device what they're talking about that you're
No.
referring to, but it's still
Yeah.
better than nothing, isn't it?
Nothing. Exactly. Yes.
So
Do something.
yours is the Rolls Royce of cleaning.
Yes. Nobody has anything close to what we do. Yeah. But
Okay.
do something, Mitch. Do something.
Well, I am going to do something because I have to use a saline wash every morning in my nose. Yeah, to
Yes.
clear it out. And
Yes.
I wonder if it's allergies or I'm in Thailand or what, but I suspect it's exactly what you just described.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
So as soon as, like, if I sleep with the air conditioner on, I'll have the same symptoms. When it's clean, I get it cleaned, and then the symptoms go away. And then when the symptoms come back, I know it's ready for another clean.
Oh, well, that's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I know that's my next step today. Thank you for that.
Yeah, do that.
Very timely tip, Sharon Jurd. So how long did it take you to build it to where it is today?
So we started franchising in 1st of July 2010.
Okay.
So we're 15 years in. We didn't start international expansion out of Australia until 2018. So
And
we did
then
8 years in Australia, and then we went international.
okay. Wow. And what else do you do? I know that is something you've ticked a box on, but you're also helping others.
Yeah, so I have SMJ Coaching Institute where I coach others to grow their businesses, whether they have a bricks and mortar business or a coaching business. I help them build the foundations securely so then they can grow. And we always grow internationally. When anyone coaches with me, we don't look at, dominating their suburb or their state or their region. We build international companies, and we do it around people's lifestyles. So we go, what's your lifestyle? What does that look like for you? And how does this business model fit into that? Rather than the other way around, people trying to fit their life around their business.
It's interesting you mentioned this. I have a model which is unique in America. I still have that business where I've thought about it, but I'm also a little bit older now, and I thought I don't want to put in that kind of energy. But I guarantee people TV coverage in a certain amount. So I work as a publicist. It's a unique model because I only work with a guaranteed format because I found the hole in the market with publicity, and publicists will cash your checks and say, we'll try to get you here. And it's in their best interest to drag it out, to give you one TV station a month, maybe a radio show the next month, because they're still cashing your $10,000 a month check, because that's how it's almost like the divorce lawyers, where when you go through a divorce, they don't want you to settle quickly. They want to keep the fight alive because it's a disincentive for them to get you and Bill settled up before you go and I know because I went through a divorce. It's the same with publicists. So I came up with the model of guaranteed publicity. And it's under getinterviewedguaranteed.com. I want to franchise that because I think that model, I was thinking of the US, well, here's what happened. I shared it with a friend who then said, oh, isn't that great? And then he comes back to me several months later and says, I'm going to franchise that model. I've connected with the franchise association. It's different than what you proposed, but would you mind doing the training for us?
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? It's not the exact model I mentioned. It's a derivation of it. It starts with a podcast, teaching people how to podcast, and then there are the upsells that go from there. But having franchisees all throughout America. And he's got loads of money and knows that he can't necessarily do it unless he hires a publicity expert like me to help with it, and podcast expert like me to help train the franchisees. And part of me thinks, God, he just ripped me off entirely.
Yes.
And, very much just ripped me off with this
Yeah.
whole concept idea, this idea. And he's got very deep pockets to go and make this happen and the energy to do it. Now, on one hand, how often do you hear things like this? Because you're in
All the time.
all the
All
time,
the time.
all the time. What he did, what I didn't do is I didn't take action on the idea quickly. Now I'm going to
Yep.
blame it on I've had some health challenges and good luck, buddy, because it's not as easy as you think.
No.
But inside of me, I feel a bit betrayed.
Yes.
How would
Yes.
you counsel somebody like that?
Well, firstly, if you have an idea, you must act quickly.
Okay.
Yeah. So immediately, without hesitation, even if it doesn't come off or grow, but to protect your intellectual property or the processes and systems around it. So firstly, people go, oh, well, I hadn't got around to it. Like I didn't act quickly. So that's on you. The other thing is,
100%.
yeah, the other thing is which is a little bit harder. You go, hey, someone wants to copy me, and it was a great idea, and pat yourself on the back about that. But it's really letting it go because they will never be able to do it like you.
No, they won't.
So I've had people come to my events, sit in the front row, take all the notes, say that, on the pretense that we want to work together. Then they go, I'm going to go and do it myself. They never end up doing it themselves the way I do it. And so people will buy off people. So the people who like you, Mitch, or who like me, won't buy off them because they don't like them or resonate or, connect with them in the same way. And I live in a world of abundance. So there is plenty out there for all of us. So someone goes, oh, they've taken all my clients because they've copied me. That's not true. There is plenty of clients, plenty of opportunity.
Totally agree.
And they're doing it for different reasons. They're doing it for money, right? So he sees an opportunity to make money. You do it because you want to help people and you really give in that way. He will tighten up his system so he's not so giving, and then the universe will take it away from him. So I keep going. If you give, the universe will give back, and live in that abundance mindset, and you'll be fine.
Well, my thought on this is wait. Let them go ahead and create all these systems, which I live in Asia now. I have no desire to go back and live in the US anymore. None. I have the accent. I can't get rid of it, born with it, but no desire to return to it to practice it there. I live in Asia. And I thought, okay, I'll go through this process because also I don't have, honestly, self-confession, admission. I don't want to work that hard anymore. Also, I'm 65. This is time to slow down. I'm podcasting out of enjoyment. I don't need the money. I'm more in a position of enjoyment doing this. And if I'm to do it, I could certainly cut my teeth on this concept in a smaller market like Malaysia, Singapore, even a small country like Australia or New Zealand and do it. And I would be plenty satisfied because the concept would work anywhere.
Yes.
Because people need publicity. So that's how I mentally went through it. But also I feel like there's a knife in my back.
Yes.
People do funny things with money, don't they?
Yes, they do. And the other thing is you don't want to be carrying around that angst or that anger or frustration around it because, that's just a heavy weight. That's what you're saying. You feel like the knife's in your back. That's that heavy weight you're carrying around. So you really need to release that and move on. And you may feel like it's not affecting because you're going, okay, I don't want to do the US. But there's still that
there is.
You. Yeah, that you need to go, I need to release that, wish him well, and because you'll be thinking about it. And people who more intensely than you, Mitch, but some people get very focused on that person. And the minute they get focused on that person, then they're not focused on growing their own business and their own life. And so for the people who are listening to your podcast, don't move your focus to focus on your competitors or other people, ripping you off or, doing similar things. Stay focused on your path, what you're doing, put the blinkers on and just let them go and do whatever they want to do.
Well, it's almost, and the thing about it, it's a relationship in life. When I had a partner, I was the very first I've come up with a lot of ideas. I've been copied so many times
Yeah.
that I haven't got enough fingers. I had a business with a partner, and we left quite amicably, where I taught him the live events business. I've produced about 2,000 events in my life, so I know the business backward, forward, upside down. Live events, in-person live and virtual. That's been my core business for 30 plus years. Before that, just as a speaker, but producing the events. And ChatGPT came around, and I produced the very first ChatGPT event in the world in Las Vegas. It'll be coming up to 3 years in February. The very first one. 563 people. I put it in a room in 4 days. That's how hot the topic was.
Yeah.
Made loads of money.
Yes.
Had a partner. He knew the technology better than I did. So the marrying was, I produced this. I brought in the news media. We became famous in America overnight, literally. I knew the formula how to get us traction. We then replicated this 4 more times, and then all of a sudden we had hundreds of competitors in the market. Then it just got flooded. That's the cycle. And I didn't have enough uniqueness. Like, you have uniqueness in your franchisable product. You have unique technology or something, or patent, whatever it is that you do. With that, you can't do it. Talk to us about how you would make yourself unique / using a patent to protect yourself, because getting copied is imminent in some way, shape, or form if you've got a hot idea.
Yeah. You can have, the patents, the trademarks, we've got design registrations.
Right.
That protects you to a certain point. So this is how I got it explained to me. It's like, the swinging bridges, you see over, rivers and stuff, with the wooden slates.
Yep.
Well, you're taking out a wooden slate. So a design registration takes out a slate, a trademark, a patent, and it just makes it more difficult for someone to cross the bridge to copy you. But you're not going to take out all the slates.
No.
And so you just have to take out, because you could spend hundreds of millions of dollars taking out all of those wooden slates across the bridge. But what you do, you take out enough to get people to be hesitant and not copy you.
That's the gem. That's the gem. To hesitate, to give the pause of like, oh my gosh, they're already in the market. I may have to reconsider. That's the gem you've just shared.
Yeah.
Hesitate.
Yes. So we thought we would have 5 years before someone would copy, our intellectual property. They have not. They do other methods, but haven't even come close, because what I teach in growing your business is that you get so far in front of your competitor, they can't catch you. So you have to be developing and moving very, very quickly initially. So you're so far in front, it's just too hard for them to catch you. And we keep that, because as you grow businesses, you can't become a little bit complacent and go, I've got a great, product. But we're like, our catchment bags under our air conditioner, we're up to design number 42. So we have kept designing and designing. Improving. Yes. And so, a gentleman, a company copied our very first bag, and it leaks water over people's homes. It doesn't work well, and he can go and use that. And we're not concerned by that, because, he's got another 41 steps to catch us. So we haven't, just sat comfortably.
You innovate.
Yeah. Well, in 15 years, we're up to machine number 12. So
wow.
Every time we're moving forward with our intellectual property.
And you've stated something. You can't rest on your laurels.
No.
And for example, I know that in China, they don't have intellectual property enforcement there in their country. Their belief is, and I don't know if they're wrong. At first, I got angry when I heard about it, because we have patents. You spend money on patents and IP. Their view is, you better continue to innovate, because we're right there. We're going to copy you. I know speakers, Sharon, you'll appreciate this. Speakers who've gone. One of my speaker friends, Joel Bauer, that I brought into the speaking business 23 years ago, he got a gig in China. He sold his product on day 1. On day 2, there was somebody in the hall it was physical back then, that had copied it overnight and had it out there for half the price, distributing it in the hallway in China.
Yes.
Overnight. Yes. That's how fast they
Yes.
operate.
I know. How we've protected our intellectual property a lot is, like our machine, we get different suppliers to design different parts of the machine, and we assemble it here in Australia. So no one sees the complete machine.
Bravo.
So our supplier doesn't know. He knows he's making this, but he doesn't know what it makes.
Oh, isn't that clever? Oh, the assembly is in Australia, and then it ships out to your franchisees.
Yep, to all around the world. Yep.
Oh, isn't that clever? Isn't that clever? Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Makes sense. You know, and what you do, there's a metaphor I heard years ago, which applies to this beautifully. I haven't forgotten. I think it comes back from when I was in business school. Italian racing. Italian racers are taught to remove the rear view mirror immediately. Only look forward. Don't worry about what your competition is doing behind you. Just look forward. Keep drive. Put your foot on the gas and go. Don't brake. You're a pussy if you brake. Just keep just keep pushing.
I was actually taught to drive by my dad exactly that. Don't worry about who's behind you. Just worry about who's in front of you. That's how I was taught to drive a car myself.
Well, isn't that a good installation?
Yeah. So we and the other thing, just as an FYI, I don't share this normally, so this is just for you guys, Mitch. The other thing that I want to mention is the pushback, because we're when you buy our equipment from HydroClean, you sign a license. So what we did, we thought that someone would come along and sell machines individually, and not have someone sign up to a franchise or a license agreement. So we went and started a company in our competition. So it's called SACE. And so SACE is specialized air conditioning equipment. And so we can sell that machine individually worldwide as our competitor. So we stopped the competitor coming in with another machine, selling them individually without a license or a franchise. So we went in competition to ourselves. So
that's smart.
So we have two companies that I'm not, like, I don't hide that I'm the sole director of both, but when you're looking at, as a consumer, it looks like we're in competition to each other. But we stopped the competition competing with us by being our own competitor.
Oh, that's a great tactic. Great tactic. And the strategy works. Yes, sure. So that, and have you enjoyed the journey?
Yes. Well, franchising is very interesting. Very interesting.
What would you have done different? Knowing what you know 15 years later, what would you have changed in your journey?
It would have been me, because I always go, if shit's going down in your world, you always look within. Because I'm a coach, I thought that I could coach the franchise partners and the licensees. I thought I would coach them in business and show them how to grow. They saw me with a different hat on. And so they wanted to know the marketing, the research, the development, the resources. If they wanted a coach, I then went external for a coach, because I tried to coach them and then they couldn't see me as the coach. They saw me as the franchisor. Right. So there was this bit of gray area. And once I learned that I was not their coach, then we had a better relationship. So yes, they do come to me and ask me about growing the business, but not in the true sense of a coach where you meet up regularly and coach them through their challenges, because there's some personal things that they don't want to share with me as a franchisor, but they would have shared with their coach. So what I would have done differently is not try and coach them, be their true franchisor and be a franchisor. And once I brought those external coaches in, the franchise worked very well then.
So why did you switch to the private sector, and why are you a coach?
Well, a good friend of mine said to me, "You're doing this with your eyes closed, Sharon. You need to be out on stage." It came from speaking on stage, telling people how to sell. And so a friend of mine said, you need to be sharing how you sell. You can sell franchises, you know, and not only franchises, but other things. You need to be sharing this from stage. Then when I started speaking from stage, people were wanting to work with me more closely, hence the coaching business grew. And then it evolved into my group program of coaching coaches, because they could see me as a coach having transitioned from a full-time role in HydroClean, you know, and being the franchisor to having this other business. So people were wanting to leave their day job and transition into coaching and evolve as a coach. And they saw me doing that, and then being successful at coaching. So I attracted a lot of people who are wanting to change their life and do the coaching. And with the coaching, that was my passion. That's what I was trying to do in HydroClean. And it just kept dragging me to keep doing that. So yeah, so it just grew from there. And my heart gets warm around helping people have their successes, and, you know, and how they grow themselves and how I see them change and evolve and the like. Yeah.
I don't think there's any greater payoff, especially as one gets more mature. I don't want to say old, I'll just say mature, where you've made your mark. You've got an inscription on your tombstone in weight. So when the time comes, how do you make people feel, and what legacy do you leave? And if you've affected people with their hearts and their pockets, which that helps the heart feel better when you've got some dough in your pocket.
Yeah.
That's a real mark, isn't it?
Yes. You know, I wake up every day saying, whose life am I going to change today? And I go to bed and say, whose life did I change today? I know the money will come from doing that.
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't wake up going, how much money am I going to earn today? How many more new clients am I going to get? I focus on the giving, how do I change people's lives? And all of that comes with that, you know.
But was it always like that, or is that something that came after you've already made your mark and were financially secure?
Well, I owned 2 real estate offices, Mitch, you know, back in the day. I was top 1% worldwide in gross closed commissions. I was money driven. I didn't give a shit about people. I really didn't.
Got it.
And that's been completely honest. I look back at that time and I was just, I'm making, you know, millions of dollars, and get out of my way. I didn't hurt people. Like, I didn't go and, you know, hurt people, but I didn't truly understand a lot of times what they were going through. And during that time in the real estate, I really understood that, you know, they were selling their house or buying a house for the very first time, yet I was doing it every day. And I had to really care about these people doing this one possibly transaction for their entire life sometimes. And I had a realization about that. And that's when I started to change how I look at things and my behavior around that. Yeah.
Was there some emotional pivot point in order to change that behavior, or was it a slow process? Was it an evolution or a quick pivot?
Oh, no, it was a quick pivot. And it was something so very simplistic. It was Christmas, and all of my team, their clients were coming in with gifts and thanking them and inviting them to their housewarming, and I was not. Everyone loved me because I got better results than everybody else, but I didn't have that personal connection with them. It's like you know, if I think about it, probably not as extreme, but you think about that doctor with bad bedside manner. You know, I was had the tools, I got them more money than they ever wanted, but no one wanted me at the barbecue. You know, no one wanted me at the housewarming
because
party.
You hadn't shown your heart?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I had to be professional. This is how it was. I got the job done, but I never really connected on a true level. And that was an instant pivot for me.
Who was your model to two questions? Who was your model to create the earlier version of Sharon Jurd, and who is your model to make that pivot?
Yeah, good question. I really don't know. I've been asked this question a lot. Because I was a trailblazer in real estate. I was in the Century 21 brand. I was the only female single director of a real estate company in Century 21. And then I had 2 offices. I was only single female there, but I had a real drive to prove something to somebody. That because I was female, I was young, and most of the people who owned real estate offices at the time were 60 male, handed down generational. In the towns that I was in, I was the first new real estate office in 25 years in the township that I opened up in. So I really, I didn't know anyone doing, I was a cattle auctioneer as well. I'm a country girl. We were in a rural town. So I was auctioning property, cattle, horses, pigs, chooks. And I was the only female registered auctioneer at the time.
What's a chook?
Yeah, like a chicken.
Is that a chicken?
Oh, yes, sorry. My Australian slang. Yes, chickens. Yeah, but even then, I didn't even know what that meant. I didn't even think about it. I was just head down doing what I had to do. And from a promotional PR exercise, that was worth its weight in gold, but I never took any advantage of that because I was just doing. I didn't know. Yeah.
Wow. And okay, so that was, I mean, we all look at some model of a person. I mean, if I were to answer the question, I could give you distinct answers because I identified, okay, I want to be like him. I want to be like him. Was there a figure that you looked at as a model? It's like, okay, I want to take on that role. We all have our unique thumbprint. There's only one Sharon. There's only one.
Yes.
However, there's something to piggyback on.
Yeah. And who I looked up to at that time was Charles Tarby, who owned Century 21 Australasia.
Okay.
So he was the franchisor. And even I modeled HydroClean on Century 21.
Okay.
That family orientation, he knew everyone in his system. He knew their partner or wife or husband's name, their children. He knew everything about them.
Personal touch.
So when I grew HydroClean, we called it the HydroClean family, and we call it franchise partners, not franchisees. We're partners in this. And I really looked at making it a family where they can call me on the mobile. In franchise systems, people cannot get to the directors. There's just so many layers. They never get to talk to them. They're just see, talk, and interact with my franchise partners and licensees.
Now, as a director, the CEO, is that what you're using? A director?
Yes.
Okay. So we have director level, which is below the vice president. And then and you use managing director, I guess, would that be? All right. That's the British labeling. Yeah.
Yeah. So CEO, so at the top level.
Got it.
I'm the big kahuna.
No, I get it. But yeah, director in America, just for people to listen.
It's lower level.
It's lower than, you're a manager, then a director, then an assistant vice president, senior vice president, executive vice president, president, then the CEO. I mean, it goes.
I'm the CEO.
Yep. Got it. All right. All right. You're a chief bottle washer. Yes.
Yes. I'm the do it all.
That's what I used as my title for my agency and my business. I would refer to myself as I'm the chief bottle washer when somebody asks who I am. And CEO is my title, but I jokingly said I'm the chief bottle washer.
And talking about that, what I also modeled with Charles is that he had his own office. And so he was in the trenches. So people were going, oh, you don't know the market. Well, I do, because I own my own franchise. I own my own office. So I've always been in the trenches with the franchise partners and the licensees. So I'm in the current, environment, so I feel their pain as well when, things are a bit tougher. I know what's going on by operating at that level as well.
Okay. Well, that makes a lot of sense. So what's your middle name?
Marie.
Okay. So Sharon Marie Jurd, SMJ Consulting.
Yeah.
Is that right? SMJ Consulting?
SMJ Coaching Institute. Yeah.
Coaching Institute. Okay. Well, that's a long one, .com. And if you put a .au in there, they'll find you. And what kind of programs do you offer? so people will know?
Yeah, so one-on-one coaching. So if you're in business 3 years or above, so you've got some momentum, I'll help you grow those foundations and out at a very fast pace. So that's not one of my coaches, that's me direct. And then I have my group program, which is my master coach program. So people will have a product or a modality. They might have hypnosis, they might be selling a product, they might be a massage therapist. They come into my master coach program and I help them build that out into a coaching program where they're not working on an hourly rate. So I have like clients who are doing $40 an hour for a massage and now they're getting $2,500 a month for an hour. So I show how they can build it out into a coaching program where you're working less and earning more by the tools you have in your tool belt. It doesn't matter what your product or service is. You can still build it out into a coaching program.
That's interesting. I live in Thailand. Massages are $7 here.
Yes.
It's like, how do they
$40 for a massage? Oh my God.
That's just, I lived in America and I would pay $80 US for a 1 hour massage, and it was negligible whether it was good or not. I didn't know. But here, I don't care about throwing away $7. I'll just find a new one the next time. That is better.
Yes.
And,
yes, exactly.
That's strong enough to rub out my knots.
Yeah. Because people have a lot of tools in their tool belt. Sometimes they don't realize, just,
Sure.
Going through a divorce, relationships, children, buying and selling homes. Because we coach people holistically, so you have a lot of tools. People will go around to conferences all year. You would have seen it, Mitch, when you were running events. They go and get all the certificates, all the learnings, but they can't bring it together. They go, I'm still not
huge failing.
money.
And they have shiny object disease. But I would suspect one of your superpowers, Sharon, because you have results to prove it, is you find this dull gem and you show them how to rub it and get shiny.
Yes. Yeah.
How to glisten.
Yes. And being known in like people go, there's too many coaches in the world, because like it's easy to say, HydroClean's got this intellectual property. In the coaching, I show them what their intellectual property is. I bring that to their conscious awareness. We've all got an individual intellectual property. And so we bring that to the forefront so they can stand out in the crowd.
Wow. Well, great. Well, you've been a great guest today, Sharon. And one more time, where do they find you?
So smjcoachinginstitute.com. Yeah. And they can go there. There's a button there called Discovery Session, and they can arrange to meet up with me and chat.
All right. Well, fantastic, mate. I'm glad. And we'll talk about the chooks. What was the other one? You had a chook and you had some other word that was Australian. I'll have to think about it.
I get on a roll and then I forget I'm Aussie.
I didn't forget it. And I think the listeners appreciate your very cool accent because you are exotic.
I thought you had the accent, Mitch.
yeah, well, that's one way of looking at it, and wherever we're from. Well, the true American accent, if we're to play the history, and this was pointed out by a man from Boston. Bostonians have their own they were first. That was the first settlement in the States. And he made the comment astutely, all the rest of you have accents. I speak correctly. And it was pretty funny. And it's true.
That's what I say here when I'm in Australia.
Oh, that's fine. It's all good laughter. But
yes.
Fantastic information. I know when we are able to pull out the hot button, the big points, and AI will help me with this. One of the tools I use, it'll bring up the key takeaways, which we'll share. But there were multiple in this session. And I thank you for your time today, Sharon.
Thank you.
Let Mitch Carson help you. Mitch's background includes starting his first business in college and selling it for more than 7 figures by the age of 28. His second startup with partners, Planet Recycling Incorporated, was sold in 1993 to Waste Management. Mitch has trained over 600 speakers, authors, coaches, consultants, CEOs, and helped them reach their goals. Many have gone on to be New York Times best-selling authors, Wall Street Journal authors. Many have been able to experience a life transformation, as few are able to see, experience, and realize their personal power. Many have gone on to become keynote speakers in their native countries, become authors, and recognized experts. Let Mitch help you reach your goals. Head to MitchCarson.com or scan the QR code now to learn more.